Aaron here from Goddard Adventure. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to encourage the fathers out there and give you guys some tips to kind of go by when you take your family adventuring. I think we live in a world right now where the status quo is kind of disrupted, and a lot of people maybe don't have as clear of a vision for their life and kind of where they want to go with it. Some people choose to not have families. Some people, choose to have families. And right now, I feel like the voice towards not having families is maybe a little bit louder. And I think a lot of people maybe aren't considering all the variables when it comes to whether you should or shouldn't have a family. From my perspective, a lot of people think that families are too much work. They think they're too expensive. They think that kids kind of remove the peace that you have as an adult, in your quiet home. And overall, they think it's just not worth it. And I can understand that perspective. That being said, I grew up knowing that I wanted a family, and I knew I had good parents. I've taken what they've taught me, and I've kind of adapted it to fit my parenting style. And I just want to let you know that a family is worth it. And like many things in life, the easiest thing to do is not always the best, especially in the long term. So you might have short-term gains, but in the long term, I think having a family is a good example of an investment that you get a lot out of. So while those other statements the world says or people say are true, kids can take away your peace. They can be expensive. I mean, we're expensive. If you just factor in, what it costs to just feed a human over a year, it's a lot of money. But I want to encourage you that when you start a family, it all starts very naturally, and the costs they're there, but they're small and they're over time. So it's like an investment. So without dragging on too much longer, the first tip I have is to start young. So for me and my family, I always knew I was going to take them on adventures. It's just part of my lifestyle. And so you just want to start young as possible. If you think you want your kid to do sports, if you think you want your kid to do anything in life, especially from the father's perspective, it's our job to start teaching them and guiding them towards success. And so when it comes to adventures, that's starting them young and starting within their means. So for me and my boys, for those who don't know, I have twin 9-year-olds and a 7-year-old boy. They're all boys. And we started kayaking with the twins, literally took them kayaking when they were 3 months old. We did it safe. We were careful. We had a plan. But you start young, and the kids, gain the skills they need for adventures along the way. And it all happens very naturally. And it's a challenge to start. The earlier you start, the more challenging it can be. Their skill levels, lower, and you just have to have a lot of grace for your kids as you raise them. So that gets me on to the second tip, which is to start within your means. When you have a family that's younger, if you have more kids, you kind of have to start within your means. You have to do what you can do. I've found that many small trips starting out within your means build up the skills to have bigger adventures later. And for me, that would be kind of like the trip to Colorado that we took. We drove 3 days straight, driving 8 hours a day, and then camped almost every night. And we ended up going to Colorado and back to South Carolina. It was only 7 days or so. So we traveled for 3 days, we stayed for 3 days, and we came back for 3 days. Most people would say, there's no way that's worth it. There's no way you can enjoy that. And I'm pleased to report that my whole family found that to be a great success. We enjoyed traveling together because we've practiced. We enjoyed camping together each night. We had just enough time at camp, a couple hours or so to enjoy camp. And overall, it was an amazing success, but it didn't just happen. We couldn't just try that. We had to build up the skills to do that. So start within your means. It could be going to the park. It could be just walking around your neighborhood. Adventuring doesn't have to be big and grand. It can be just wandering, walking, having fun together. That gets me to point 3, which is enjoy the moment. As a father, as a parent, you need to just be able to step back and watch your kids living and learning. Enjoy that moment. Enjoy the small details. If you focus too much on the big picture, your vacation will come and go, your adventure will come and go, and you might even find that you don't enjoy it because you have a big goal that the kids aren't capable of actually achieving. Maybe that's traveling too far or just any number of things. But for me, recently, it was paddleboarding, it was paddling. The kids are learning how to use our new paddle boards. They're not fast. They don't have a lot of endurance right now. They can't go very far. And so I found myself just needing to sit back and kind of shuttle them around, but just watching them enjoy the water, go and look at what they want to look at because they each have their own paddleboard. It was extremely fulfilling and it was really rewarding. So just enjoy the moment, and don't have high expectations. Point number 4 is to be prepared. As the father, as the parent, it's our responsibility to keep our family safe, and also to help them enjoy the trip. Paddling, hiking, many of these activities, you can do them in a way where people almost universally find them enjoyable, or you can do them in a way where most people, the average person, would find them extremely unenjoyable. Hiking or paddling against the current or up the hill is very defeating, and it is very taxing on your body, whereas hiking on flat ground or downhill or paddling with the current is super enjoyable. And paddling in particular, if you can park your a vehicle upstream, drop your boats off, and then go downstream and drop a vehicle off downstream, and you just paddle with the current, that's almost universally appealing to so many people. It's very, very fun. So be prepared. That also includes safety equipment. I have another video that I can link to at the end of this video, and it'll be in the description, but focus on your safety gear. If you do off-roading or vehicle-based adventuring, there's a lot of variables to consider, a lot of things you can carry that will really help you stay safe and help you be prepared. The last tip, point number 5, is a big one. When you fail, when your family goes on an adventure and does not enjoy it, or when you dedicate too much of yourself to the adventure and you find that you get less out of it than you put into it, just learn from those trips, learn from them, don't give up. I've had plenty of trips where I packed up all the paddle boards, all the kayaks, and we went paddling, and it, in the end, felt like I put more work into it than got enjoyment out of it. But each of those lessons is a learning lesson. It's something that you can kind of build on and improve. And when it comes to your family, you're investing, into them. You're investing into the friends you take with you, and overall, you do, in the long run, get more out of it, in my opinion. So, when you take all these points and kind of put them together, it's a good starting point for taking your family on adventures. It's a good starting point for life. Life is one big adventure. And for me, when I reflect on life and I reflect on where I'm at right now, I could not imagine living right now without my family. Like, if they were removed from my life, it would be the biggest nightmare. It would be the biggest hole in my heart that just could not be filled. And I don't know that people who choose to not have kids, I don't know if they understand or quite grasp how fulfilling it is to have and raise a family. It is a legacy that you kind of leave behind after you pass away. It is an investment into another person. It is a daily challenge, but it is also a daily reward. So I hope I put this well, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk here and found some value in it. It's worth every challenge to have a family, and there's no greater source of joy other than God, who gave me my family. There's no greater source of joy on earth right now for me than my family, and I thank God every day for them. And if you take steps to raise your family right, they are a blessing. If you don't take the proper steps in actively raising your family and being a leader as a father, then you will find them to not be a blessing. And maybe that's where the world or people, maybe that's where they've seen too many people fail. They've seen too many examples of a family that's gone awry. And I know for myself personally, it is something you have to put effort towards. And maybe if you guys enjoy this video, I can do another parenting tips video where I kind of go over some of my rationale for how I raised my kids, how I've taught them, to eat a variety of different foods, even if they don't prefer them, or, how as a father in my family, I've raised them to respect the decisions that I make, which is very important. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys found some value. Please leave some comments down below, giving me some feedback, giving me your opinion, your thoughts. And I hope you guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you next Thursday. Over and out.